on the edge of the chair.
An edge.
And we're gonna have our legs hip width apart.
Like this?
And let's look at the toes. Are they open?
No.
Are they straight?
Yes.
Are they in? And open, and straight, and in. And open, and straight, and in, and open, and straight, and in. So we're moving on the heels, moving the toes out,
Oh, yeah.
moving the toes in, straight, and moving the toes in, and open, and straight, and in. And notice what happens to the muscles of the legs as you turn on the heels. So the toes are open, straight, and in, and open, and straight, and in. And the pelvis muscles are also moving straight and in, and open, and straight, and in. So there are a lot of muscles that are involved, from the feet to the legs, and also in the abdomen. Now this muscle is lengthening, relaxing, and now there is contraction. Open, straight, and in, and open, and straight, and in, and relax in the center with the toes forward. And now we're going to let the heel go up and down, up and down. Ta-tam, pa-pam, 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 just the heels. Ta-tam, pa-pam, 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 pa-pam. Again, heels, ta-tam, 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 pa-pam, 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 pa-pam. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Take another deep breath in and let it go. And see if you can feel the legs kind of a little bit lighter, a little bit more energized. Let's move your right leg forward and put the heel down, and as if you're pressing on the brake. Lift the toes and lower, lift the toes and lower. So you're pressing, and you're pressing, and you're pressing, and you're pressing, and press, and press, and press, and press, and press. And when you press, see if you can move with your hip. Move with your hip. Morning, move it. So the toes go down and the hip moves forward. And push the toes down and the hip moves. It's like driving in the car, putting the brakes on. Yeah. And bring that leg in. And let's take your left leg, put the heel down, and press the toes down. And allow the pelvis to move with it. And press, 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 and come back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, relax. Come on in. And inhale in. Okay, so we're sitting on the edge of the chair. So if you're not on the edge, scoot forward. Bring your hip all the way forward on the chair, like you're almost falling, but you're not falling. All the way to the edge of the chair.
To the edge.
This way you can feel your sitting bones right on the edge of the chair, and that gives you an indication of where your spine is. So don't go back and lean. Bring your spine forward and the hip forward, and try to get your spine to be right in between those sitting bones. So open your legs hip width apart, open your feet hip width apart, open the legs hip width apart, and shift your weight from side to side, from side to side, on the sitting bone, on the sitting bones. So it's not the shoulders, we're not going with the shoulders, we're going sitting bone, sitting bone, sitting bone, sitting bone. Very good. Open your legs a little bit so they are hip width apart. Can you hear me? Open your legs a little bit. The feet. The feet. If you can open your...
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Open your legs a little bit.
Okay.
Hip width apart. And now you're going from hip bone to hip bone. Hip bone, not shoulders. It's the hip bone. Hip bone.
Oh, hip bone.
Hip bone, yes.
Okay.
So we're shifting the weight from hip bone to hip bone, from hip bone to hip bone. It's a tiny little shift from right to left, from right to left, which will move the bones of the hip and will start feeding the spine, the fluid up the spine, kind of going check, 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 check to the fluid. And we're not moving the legs, we're not moving the heels. It's the sitting bone, sitting bone, sitting bone, sitting bone. Check, 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 check. Some of you are still lifting your heels. It's not the heels, it's the hip, 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 and relax. Now roll your hip backwards a little bit. Now your spine looks like the letter C. And now lift the pelvis back, and it's a straight line with the legs like the letter L. So we're gonna go to the letter C, rounding the hip and the back, and back to straight to the letter L. So we are rounding the pelvis. We're rounding the pelvis back a little bit and straight up. So it's like the letter C. And rounding like the C, letter C, cat, and L, lima, and cat, and lima, and round the hip, and straighten the hip, and round the hip, and straighten the hip, and round the hip, and straighten the hip, and round the hip, and straighten the hip. Put your hands in the middle of your thighs, in the middle of your thighs. Push down into your thighs and take a deep breath. Exhale. And take a deep breath in. Hands in the middle of the thighs. Inhale deep. Exhale. Snake. And inhale in. And snakes. So I can't hear the snakes in here. I can only hear myself. Inhale. Inhale in. Try to get more and more and more. And we all have different legs. Don't worry about that. But inhale in. And exhale. Sitting on the edge of the chair, the legs are straight. They are right underneath the knees. And we're gonna open the toes wide, just like we did in the beginning, and straight, and in. And open the toes out, and parallel, straight, and in. And open the toes wide, and parallel, and in. And pay attention to all these muscles that are working along the legs and also along the bone to bone here in the front, the ilium bone. And open wide, and parallel, and in. And open wide, and parallel, and in. And open wide, and parallel, and in. Now we're going to play with the brain a little bit. Both of them to the one side. Both of them to the other side. Both of them to one side. Both of them to the other side. And now you're getting a little bit more on the side of the legs. Can you feel it? Mm-hmm. And so it's like what we need this morning in our cars, wishing wipers. And all morning I've been kind of playing with the rain. Do I need the umbrella or do I not? Running between the drums. And side to side and center. Lift the heels and drop. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. This is for the lymph system, especially if you're sitting a lot in your room. Heels and heels. And pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. It seems like nothing, but it's a lot because it keeps on moving the lymph system. The lymph system moves like 2 to 3 days all the way around. It gets over here on the right side, dumps it back into the blood, and keeps on circulating. So help it. Pam, pam. Or get out for a walk. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Good morning. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Pam, 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 pam. Hands in the middle of the thigh. When you have the most of the muscle, press it down and inhale deep. Stretch the lung to the longest and poof. And 2 more times. Inhale deep. Press your hands into your thighs. Press the feet into the floor and stretch the lungs. And puff it out. One more time. Good. Inhale. Give the lungs a full stretch. Hold it there for a second, a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and puff it out. Nothing happens when we don't breathe for a little bit. Okay, now we're going to inhale normally. We're going to exhale. And we're not going to inhale, just for a little bit. So inhale, exhale, and don't breathe. Nothing happens, right? When you feel that you really want to, stretch it a little bit more, and then inhale. Exhale. Don't breathe. How long can you last? When you feel the urge, stretch it a little bit longer. Nothing will happen. And inhale when you need to. We'll do it 3 more times in your own timing, okay? So you know your body. Try to stretch the envelope. So we'll start together. Inhale. Good, good. We don't get better without a little bit of stress. And when you finish this one, relax. Lift your shoulders up like you're trying to hang them on your ears. Relax your arms. It's just the shoulders that are being lifted. Are they hung there? And let it go. And rest. We're going to do it again. So just rest. So we're contracting the levatoscapula, the muscles around here that lift the shoulders up. Now push it back a little bit and hold it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and we're going to let it go. There's so many ways to work with the physical body and to get it to work better, and today we're doing just one of the many. So again, one more time. Shoulders up. Take your thumb and turn it out like you're hitchhiking back to the 60s and 70s. Hold it up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 6, 7, 8, and just let it go. Let gravity pull you down. And rest. Good. Everybody's working. We're going to take the left arm and pull it down like you're trying to get the shoulder to go down. You see how one shoulder is up and one shoulder is down? But don't lean. Don't get out of center. And bring that arm back. And do the other arm. Take the shoulder down and notice how different one shoulder is from the other. And relax it. And press the arm down and the shoulder down. Do you feel the tension in the ribs? Don't take it forward, stay on the side. And bring it back. The arm is hanging vertical. And press it down without leaning. Stay in the center. It's just the arm and the shoulder. We love to cheat. It's human. And bring it up. And bring the arm and the shoulder down. And up. And down. And up. And down. And up. And one more time on each side, down, and up, and down, and relax. Get the thumbs to rotate. Don't bend the elbows. Arms are down, vertical, but the thumbs are backwards. So you need to sit on the edge of the chair. Some of you already scooted back. And press both shoulders down. You're going to feel it in a different place. You're going to feel it in different muscles. And relax. We have 13 muscles around the shoulders. 13 rotator cuffs. Yeah. It's a big section here. And morning.
Good morning.
And press down. And relax. And press down. And relax. And press down. And relax. And press down. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. Oof. Relax the shoulders. Do you feel it in the shoulders? You do? Are they sinking? Okay, we're going to take one shoulder back and one shoulder forward. So this thumb is going to go rotating in, and this thumb is going to go rotating out. Don't bend the elbows. There. And now bring the thumb, this one in and this one out. The spine is rotating around its own axis. And rotate the arms and rotate the spine. One goes out, one goes in. And this one now goes in and this one will go out. And you're allowed to move the shoulders. And you're allowed to move your chest. But not the hip. And rotate in and out. And in and out. And in and out. And in and out. And in and out. You want to scoot forward on the chair. And one in and one out. And one in and one out. And relax. Take a minute to breathe. And exhale. And inhale. And push the air. One more time. Inhale. Take your fingers and bring them over your kneecap, your patella, over your kneecap. Get your fingers to anchor underneath the patella. Okay? Anchor underneath the patella. So now we're going to roll the pelvis back to the C shape, but the elbows will go straight. You're rolling the hip backwards, and then you come up to the letter L, Lima. And a cat. Straight elbows. And a Lima. Still straight elbows. So it's only the pelvis and the lower back that's moving. And up to a straight back. And rounding. Exhale. Look down toward between your legs. Inhale up. Lift your eyes and look straight forward to the horizon. Or maybe itsy bitsy about the horizon. And down in between your legs. The pelvis is behind you. The elbows are straight. Elbows are straight. So the lower back and the hip is rotating. Good. And straighten up. Still straight arms. Triangle. Right? Triangle. Can you see the triangle? And keep the triangle. Just move the pelvis and the lower back. C and L. Good. Exhale, C, going backwards with the hip and rounding, rounding, there you go, and straight back and straight hip. Very good. And rounding, and straightening, and rounding, and one more thing for today. We're going to turn to the side. One hand is on the outside of the knee and the other hand is on the chair. So you're going to go to your left.
Okay. Left.
To the left. This way.
To left.
So one hand is here and the other hand is right here.
Oh.
There. So we are rotating and we are going to round the hip again to the C. And we're going to straighten it to the L. On that twist. And rounding, push with your hands against the chair. And straighten up, release. And exhale, push the hip back, push the hip back, push the hip back, round your spine as much as you can. Straighten up and look at the horizon. And round back and straighten up. And round back and straighten up and come to the center. And bring your arms to the other side. One hand is on your knee and the other hand is on the chair. And round the hip backwards. Bring the hip backwards and round your lower back. Look down. And breathe up. It's really distracting. And rounding. And inhale. And rounding the hip backwards. And inhale and straighten the back. And one more time, get the hip backwards. And straighten the hip and the spine. And come to the center. And walk backwards until your back. Find the chair.
I'll be waiting. It's raining, so as you know, and
Put your spine against the chair
I'll be able to play.
and start like as if you have an itch and you want to scratch. Make sure that your spine is touching the chair because you're trying to get the itch right there in the middle. Like you're a teddy bear against a tree. Now get the hip all the way back, and get the spine all the way to the chair. And now we're going to be a snake, very smoothly going from side to side. So it's the spine, it's not the head, it's the spine, as little as it needs to be. Wonderful. And bring your arms up above head and wrap it around over your head and bring an elbow to the side. Bring it forward, just the head and the neck. Bring it to the other side. Try to get the elbows to be right there. Open those elbows. I know it's not easy. And one more time to the front. Round your head, round your neck. Back to the side. And let go of the arms. Put your hands on your thigh and just take a minute to sense, to see how you feel. So arms down. And just take a minute to see what you feel like after half an hour of putting the body through a little bit of stress, a little bit of breathing. Stretching our muscles, working with the lymph system, working a little bit with our brain. And have a wonderful day. Hope to see you next week.
Thank you.